Well, hey everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 1025. We're continuing our conversation this week talking about racial tensions and how we respond as the church, as Christians. And I'll just be honest with you, right now, I'm trying to do a lot of listening, a lot of learning from others. And so I'm engaging in conversations, and I'm reading books, I'm watching documentaries, I'm listening to podcasts. And all of it is an attempt to begin to understand, what is God's desired response for us in the midst of all of these racial tensions that we see bubbling to the surface. And I want to share with you something today that doesn't come from me. It actually comes from the heart of one of our members who's wrestling with some of these same questions. And she's taken the Four Elves of our mission and she's mashed it up against the words of Micah chapter 6 verse 8, which says, "And what does the Lord desire of us? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God." And so what does God desire of us? What does God require of us in this time where we see rampant racism rising to the surface? Four things. First of all, we need to learn about race. Recognize that racism is real. Whether you've experienced it or not, don't pretend that it doesn't exist. Take the time to learn about the history of our country, to listen to the stories of people as they have experienced racism in their lives. Secondly, then, we love mercy. This is our default when it comes to relationships, that we're always giving a compassionate response. This means that whenever we see the effects of racism, whenever we see the rioting and the protesting, that there should be something that is stirred within our hearts that begins to churn, that begins to lament what we see happening. Loving mercy is the response that we see in the pictures of police that are choosing to kneel next to protesters as they understand that this is not the way that things should be. Then we lead humbly. Those of us who have a voice, this is not a time for us to use that voice for ourselves, to voice our own opinions. This is about leveraging our voice to give a voice to the voiceless. This is about leveraging our voice in order to give voice to the words of God as he speaks into this situation. Micah says that we are to walk humbly with our God. And then lastly, we live justly. Justice matters. Justice is at the heart of who God is. And justice is at the fabric of our country. What do we say? We proclaim with liberty and justice for who? For all people. I think of the words from 1 Corinthians 13 as we're going through that this summer. And Paul says that love does not delight in evil, but instead it rejoices in the truth. It seeks justice. And so this is the way that we are called to live. This is our mission. It's a Micah 6 verse 8 mission. What does the Lord desire of us? What's the response of us as a church in a time like this? We act justly, we love mercy, and we walk humbly with our God. So let's keep talking about this. Let's continue the conversation. What are you learning? What thoughts do you have to share at a time like this? Post your comments below. Let's talk about how we can keep moving things forward and moving things toward the desires that God has for all of us. And I'll see you again next time.